Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Let's Talk with Alicia. My name is Alicia, and I want to welcome you to this space where we talk about the things many of us experience but sometimes struggle to say out loud. This podcast is about real conversations about healing, struggles, growth, life changes, and finding our way through difficult moments. Today's episode is a very personal one for me. Today, I want to talk about grief. Grief is something many people experience, but it is also something that it's difficult to explain unless you have personally walked through it. Losing someone you love changes you. For me, losing my brother Richard has been one of the hardest experience of my life. It is a type of pain that is difficult to put into words because it is not only about the moment you lose someone, it's everything that comes after. It's waking up and remembering they are no longer here. It is seeing something that reminds you of them. For me, each time I would pass by my brother's barber shop, I would just break down in tears because he's always standing there, like he's always out there seeking customers. And then, I've always passed him there with his smiling face. And every time I pass there, it just brings tears to my eyes. You know, that spot just reminds me of him so much. And it's not something that you can just easily erase. It's so hard, but their memories are just always there. Everywhere you go, that there would always be. Then each time you feel that their presence, and you just feel that deep loss when you're no longer seeing them. It is hearing a song, remembering a conversation, seeing a place, or even having a normal day and suddenly feeling that pain all over again. For me, the song Forever Young by Alphaville, whenever I play that song, it just always remind me of my brother. Growing up, we used to love that song. I even played that song at his funeral, and I have it in my car as well. Days when I'm feeling a deep sense of loss, deep sense of grief, I would just play out that song, and then I'll find tears start flowing from my eyes because that song is something that really connects me and my brother. It's just something that really connects us, and also me and my brother share this obsession with forensic files. We used to be obsessed. We used to sit all day watching series after series of forensic files, and we love the narrator voice. Oh my God! Once we hear his voice, we are watching. We are going to listen all day, and we could share, all the episodes. Sometimes we say, "Oh, we watch it all already. We watch everything already," and you know for me, that's it. Because even now, I've been watching for it. Now that he's no longer here, I keep watching it because I know that's something that connects me with him. That's something that makes me feel as if his presence is with me. And grief has a way of reminding you that life has changed. There's a quote that says, "Grief is the price we pay for love," and I believe that is true. We hurt because we love. We miss someone because they mattered. The pain we feel is connected to the memories, the moments, and the relationship we had with that person. When someone we love leaves this world, it does not mean the love disappears. The love stays. In fact, the love remain. The memory stays. The impact they had on our lives stays. One of the hardest thing about grief is that people sometimes expect you to move on quickly. They may say things like, be strong, or time will heal. And while time does help us learn how to carry the pain, grief does not have a schedule. There is no right way to grieve. Some people cry every day. Some people become quiet. Some people stay busy because sitting with the pain feels too heavy. For me, when I lost my brother, the day I lost my brother, well, in fact, he died in the night. The next day, I was just so busy. I couldn't stay one place. I was just all over the place because the more I moved was because the pain was so heavy. So moving around would just help me to deal with that pain. My mom would say, Alicia, sit a bit. And I couldn't sit. I could not sit. I was just all over the place. I was just finding things to do. And I find during that week, it was the hardest because I was just overwhelmed, with all sort of emotions, just witnessing losing my brother. It was a terrible feeling. And I had to find some way to help with that pain. And at times I even became quiet, like just lock away, just shut down, you know. I couldn't talk. I was just in so much shock and pain. My brother, my hero, I watched him pass away, and it was something that, that day changed my life forever. I felt that when my brother died, a part of my heart died with him. That's how heavy the grief is for me. And, you know, some people smile and laugh, but but inside they're still hurting. And all of those experiences are part of grief. Everyone's journey look different. For me, grief has taught me that healing does not mean forgetting. Healing does not mean that the person no longer matters. Healing means learning how to continue living while carrying the love and memories of the person you lost. My brother will always be a part of my story. His life mattered. The moments we shared mattered. And even though he's not physically here, the love we share is something that will always be with me. There's another quote that says, those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. And I think about that because the people we lose continue to live through the memories we hold, the lessons they taught us, and the love they gave us. I also want to talk about something that happened to me during my grief journey. Sometimes when we are hurting, emotionally, it affects other areas of our lives. For me, grief made me realize that healing is not only about one thing. It's not just about getting through the loss. It's also about learning how to take care of yourself again, learning how to be kind to yourself, learning how to understand your emotions, learning how to heal from things may have been carrying for years. That is one of the reasons I wanted to create this podcast. That is one of the reasons I wanted to create this podcast because healing is a journey. And sometimes we focus so much on fixing the outside that we forget to take care of what's happening on the inside. In future episodes, I will also talk about my journey with dieting, self image, and learning how to eat with food. Many people struggle silently with their weight, their confidence, and their relationship with food. Sometimes it is not just about food, sometimes there are emotions behind it. Sometimes there are experiences, pain, stress, or things we have never dealt with. And I want this podcast to be a place where we can have honest conversations about these things. If you're listening today and you are grieving someone you love, I want you to know that you're not alone. You do not have to pretend that you are okay every single day. It is okay to have hard days. It is okay to miss them. It is okay to talk about them. It is okay to smile when you're remembering them. It's okay to continue living while still loving and missing the person you lost. Take your healing one day at a time. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself the same kindness you would give someone else going through the same pain. I want to thank you for joining me for the first episode of Let's Talk with Alicia. I hope this podcast becomes a place where we can share, reflect, heal, and remind each other that we are not alone in in the things we go through. If this episode connected with you, I invite you to come back for more conversations about grief, healing, growth, and finding strength through life's difficult moments. Until next time, let's talk with Alicia. Thank you so much for being here with me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.